Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast today. We have Simone Milasas joining us. Hi.
Hello, Shauna, and everybody out there listening to Shauna's podcast.
Yay. Well,
Yay!
thank you for being here.
You're welcome. It's been some time. It's like you asked me ages ago, and I was like, yes, yes, yes. And then, anyway, timing. Now we're here. So, how does it get any better than this?
Yeah. Yeah, like I guess you've been traveling quite a bit, busy with classes.
I have been traveling a lot. I travel probably I was trying to work this out the other day. I think it's like 8 to 9 months of the year. I'm trying something new out at the moment and doing like longer trips because, I'm based in Australia and it's a very long way from a lot of places. So, I just spent 3 months in Europe, and in about 10 days, I'm heading off to Costa Rica and Peru for a business done different class, and Ecuador. So I'll spend 2 months down that way. So I'm sort of doing chunks of time away. So, yeah. And I chose
That's
to be here in Australia for the month of August, and it's freaking cold. And I'm like, I need to relook at this next year. Why am I in cold Australia in August when the rest of the world is in summer?
yeah, and you were just saying that like it you like the hot weather. So
I do. I do. I love getting out in heat. Like I can go for a run in 30 degrees heat and I'm happy. Yeah.
that's cool. Um
Celsius is what we're talking. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, just quickly for those of the listeners who don't really know who you are, Simone Milasas is the worldwide business development coordinator for Access Consciousness. And Access Consciousness is amazing. It's in over 175 countries. And you have a program. It is the Joy of Business program, and you also have Getting Out of Debt Joyfully as well.
I do. There's two books that I've written, Joy of Business and Getting Out of Debt Joyfully. So there's classes on both of those. I have a membership called the Profit Club. It's like ridiculously cheap, and you get 2 calls with me a month, etc. So I have that, and my podcast, Choice, Change, and Action. Yeah, I have many different things. So
Yeah, and then you have also a third book of relationships. Are you sure you want
yes, yes,
one?
which I think is funny.
Uh, it's interesting because I kind of look at relationships now, and it's like I almost sense that I'll probably just never have like a normal relationship, And
Well, you're not normal. It's like, and so here's my thing, Shauna. What if we stopped looking for normal, and what if we started asking for what it is we truly desire? That's like, I think we are at an age now that, or like, I mean, like a time in on this planet that we actually have more choice. And relationships shouldn't be a necessity. It should be a choice. Like that was the whole idea of that book, which I wrote with my ex, and then we split up as we were launching it. So, which I thought was really, ironic, but we were like, don't worry about it, we've got this, because that's the whole idea of this book, is to be in question. And if you look at the history of relationships, so much of it was done to, create wealth together, to have land together, to secure a future, to procreate, all religious reasons, like all this sort of thing. Now it's like, you know, anything is possible. It's like I actually think we're going to a different extreme now. My niece is 21, and all the stories she tells me is like, one week she's got a girlfriend, next week she's got a boyfriend, but nothing is ever like the word commitment is just not in their vocabulary. So anyone who's actually looking for a relationship that has some sort of you know, future to it, I think that's probably what we're more struggling with now. But in truth, like choose what works for you. And I think we are at this time in the world where hopefully nothing is really a judgeable offense, and whatever you choose is what you're choosing. It works for you. So yeah, you're different, Shauna. You're going to choose something different. Go for it.
well, and the choice part, like, what would you kind of, if you could speak more to that, like, because I know some people have said, "Hey, choose for you." So, like,
Yeah.
what does that kind of?
Okay, so one of the things I did I did this a while ago in 2020 when, all of a sudden was sent to Australia again, like from Europe, and was like, what's going on? And I actually sat down and looked at my life and went, am I choosing what I would like to choose? Right. And I really didn't have an answer for myself. So what I did was I I wrote down all these different topics that were applicable at the time, like business, money, relationships, sex, body, and geographical. Because I wasn't even sure I wanted to live in Australia. You know, what would I like to create with my body? And like for that, one of the things was I went, you know, as I was getting older, I made this like old person noise getting off a chair, going, oh, and I went, oh no, that's not happening. So I was like, okay, I would like more strength, like, you know, the mobility with my joints and all of this. So I was like, okay, what have I got to choose? Because you have to choose, right? You can't just ask for that and go wake up and go, yeah, look at me, you know. No, you have to choose. So I looked at what I would like to choose with my body. And I did the same thing with business and money because so many people put them together and lump them together and they don't necessarily go together. Like you can choose different things with this. And the same as relationships and sex. People put relationships and sex together. You can have sex a billion times if you want and not even know the person's name. You know, it doesn't have to be a relationship and vice versa. So I looked at this and went, what would I like? And for starters, I looked at relationship and like my last long-term relationship, we lived in the same house. I had a stepchild, you know, I was doing school drop-offs, which I remember a friend of mine went, bet you didn't think you'd be doing that. I was like, no. Even like at dinner, I was like, oh, we have to cook dinner every night? Like, you know, because we have a kid. I remember going, how many times can we give a kid pizza before it's considered abuse? You know, like what, like, because that's not the role I was asking for. And yet I created it and I chose it, right? So now I live in this house on my own and I love it. And if I ever, I think never say never. I think the key thing here is to have all possibilities available all the time. Okay. But keep questioning what works for you. And for me, I'm like, with relationships, I went, if I actually chose to live with someone, I think I'd need to have a really big house and do that, like, you know, Downton Abbey thing where I have a room, they have a room, we have our own bathroom. I have no desire to share a bathroom with anyone. I love showering with someone, but this is my bathroom. Your toothbrush is somewhere else, you know, and having that energy where you play together, but you very much have your own space. I I'm I require my own space. I know that, right? That's very important for me. Okay, great. So make sure I include that. And then with sex, I looked at that and went, well, I like sex, but I wasn't choosing relationships. So, okay, what do I need to choose in order to have sex? That doesn't mean that I'm in relationship. And you know, anything can change at any time. And at the moment, you know, I have an amazing lover that I've had for like 5.5 years, and I deliberately call them my lover because it's not a relationship and it's turned into an amazing friendship as well. And so, but that's what I was asking for. It's like I didn't like that energy of, you know, so what are we doing on the weekend or what's for dinner tonight? Like that reporting, like Shauna, I'm different. And it's like, so I'm different. I'm not going to make it wrong. I'm going to embrace that. And who knows, in 20 years' time, I might be living with someone and going, what are we cooking for dinner tonight? I'm not sure. I don't have an answer, but I know you have to keep choosing what works for you today. Don't make relationship a necessity or even sex a necessity. There's plenty of people who don't have sex. There's plenty of people who have sex. It's like the amount you have sex is not right or wrong. It's a choice.
Yeah, and I love the call that we're on. That sex, yes, please, with Carrie and
With
Chris.
Chris and Gary. It's
Yeah.
so amazing. I missed the last one live because it was such a bad time for Australia. But I just was talking to Gary this morning. I went, you guys make me laugh. And I can tell like the molecules in my body listening to them, like the cells are like, woo, like they become more alive. Like there's so much more available.
Yeah, it's so cool. There's a lot of change.
Hmm.
And then like I know you were talking about like the choice, and then there's also like the possibilities you keep open. And in regards to like, you know, the relationship, sex, but also everything, it seems like there's so much abundance available. And then like when you yeah. And then like when you said you were choosing to create your life, it's like I mean, I think you make that choice and then it's the action that you take that it like I'm trying to say it doesn't look the way you think it will. Like it's not you
Never,
can't compute it.
never, never, never. Look, one of my favorite access consciousness tools too, and I think it's a really key element to this, is the 5 elements of intimacy. And the 5 elements of intimacy is trust, honor, allowance, gratitude, and vulnerability. And you need to have those with yourself because, a lot of, I mean, this reality, everything, every freaking movie you watch, every magazine or anything like that, it's, you're finding your other half, you're completing yourself, you're looking for somebody else to have that with you. I don't think that's the way it works, Shauna. It's like, if you can look at, do you trust you? Are you honoring of you? Are you in allowance of you? Are you being vulnerable with yourself? Do you have gratitude for you? And every day, I literally wrote these on post-it notes and had them up on my bathroom mirror. And every time I brush my teeth, so morning and night, I would destroy and uncreate everywhere, like all the judgments I had in regards to any of these. Where was I not trusting me? Being honoring of me, being vulnerable, etc. And I would run through that. And then the other thing I would do is I would ask the same question in regards to my body. Because your body has so much information. Like your body knows who it desires to have sex with or be touched by, etc., or touch. And we go, no, 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 that's not my type, or that's not whatever. It's like, your body doesn't go, well, how old are they? Your body just goes, I'm turned on. So there's this, so I would ask these questions every night and every morning about these 5 elements of intimacy because I knew I had to like explore and discover something with myself before I even engaged in that with somebody else. And for me, I think it's sort of imperative to have these 5 elements of intimacy with you and your body. And then if you choose to play with somebody else, right? Or some buddies, like lots of buddies, like and if you choose open relationship, please make sure the other person agrees to it. I can't tell you the amount of people I talk to, and one person's like, yay, and the other one's like, yes, I love it. And you're like, I don't think you do. Again, it's like being brutally honest, like what's actually working for you and not working for you. Be willing to speak up about that and explore something different. And so if you have those 5 elements of intimacy with you, for me, it's like then ask for what it is you desire to show up. And then you can receive it in a really different way because you don't have this expectation of that person to be something for you. Like you're not looking, oh, are they grateful for me? Because you're grateful for you. And you know what? That gratitude that you're looking for friggin' just goes off the scale and becomes something that is not definable because you are grateful for you, your body, and then somebody else comes along and you receive the gratitude that they have for you as well. So for me, it's like those 5 elements of intimacy is the baseline of creating a good relationship.
Wow, that's cool. It's a different space compared to, I guess, the
It is.
land.
No, you're not taught that. Yeah, it's like have it with you. It's like Shauna, we walk on this planet and so many people spend like 98%, if not 100% of their day judging something, judging, their financial reality, judging their body, judging their choices, judging something. You know what? If you choose something and you fuck up, who gives a shit? What does it matter? You go, okay, I gained an awareness from that. It's like, move on. It doesn't matter what you did yesterday. It's like, what are you choosing today? If you came out of judgment and you be this with yourself, you have a totally different reality available.
Well, and that's really cool because I was dipping into your books. I have read your books, and I was dipping in, like I was like, I have to read them again. I have to read them all before I talk to you. So I with the joy of business, I thought that's actually probably like my favorite book. And there's a part where like what it's the generative energy of like joy, and so it's like I guess I would kind of ask like is that a choice to choose joy and the energy of like generation, because this is really cool like what you're
Yeah,
talking
well, okay, so for me, that generative energy is, I don't know about you, but I'm like the big joke is everyone I work with because I go, I was just in the shower, or I was just cooking, like something that I do, like if I'm in the shower, I have ideas. So, and that as soon as you have an idea, boom, that's generative. You get this, you get this idea, right? Now, what a lot of people do, I see, is they have this amazing idea and then they go and tell somebody or talk to somebody who is going to put it down. You
about.
share it with family or friends or a work colleague or something like that, that is not going to empower you. what if you stopped doing that and actually like empowered yourself? Okay, what would it take to, create this as a business or a project or whatever it is, and expand on that? Who can I talk to? Like, be in question, because you'll go to what's familiar. And unfortunately, a lot of the times we create our lives with what's familiar that is limiting. Whereas, what if you spoke to, people or invited, collaboration with more, with greater, so that it becomes, like having that future that you desire, limitless, right? So, but we'll set ourselves up for judgment rather than setting ourselves up to fly higher than we've ever flown before, because we don't know what that quote unquote feels like. It's like, well, what if you stepped out of that world of trying to feel everything that is familiar? That could mean no money. That could mean, weirdly enough, giving something a shot and failing, or, you know, not being in the relationship that you desire or something. It's like everything you where you are right now is everything you're choosing. That's where you are, right? You chose it. Now with joy as well, it's if you look at joy, and joy is sort of different for everyone and it's undefinable. There is no judgment in joy. Right? Now, happy is interesting because a lot of people go, "Oh, I'm so happy," or "She's so happy." But if you go, "Oh, she's so happy," and you look over, you try and look to find out what that happy is. And maybe it's someone, that you get people who just laugh hysterically all the time, and they go, "Oh, they're so happy." Are they? You know, and then you
Yeah.
misidentify, oh, if I'm not laughing all the time, then I'm not happy. Whereas some of my happiest joyful moments is when I'm swimming in the ocean, or in my backyard with my food forest, or hiking, on my own, right? And I'm not laughing, and I'm not like, if you saw me, it's like you wouldn't, but there's this immense joy in every part of my body for what I'm choosing, and every part of me, like I am at peace with what my choice is. And I think joy really holds hands with that energy of peace, and also with ease. Can I say, we keep trying to make life hard, and it doesn't have to be like that. It really doesn't.
Yeah. I this is awesome. Like, I'm wondering if we have a couple more minutes or if we should, because
Oh, go for it.
what you just said was like just so cool about like the idea. And so that's just so awesome. Like, I don't think I've ever heard that before. So that I'm so grateful for that, because you're correct where, it's kind of like, oh, well, I'll just go tell, my family or whoever, friends and family. And then, like you said, it kind of gets shut down a bit. Okay, so I guess I think I know where this might lead to, because I know that um like, because you said life doesn't have to be so hard. And I know, because I've been kind of out and about, I'm always out and about, and I'm always observing. And I'm always like, oh, some people make, let's just say financial reality very difficult. I spoke to a business owner the other day, and he was like, I'm so sad and depressed. And I was like, oh, because he never is. But,
Mm.
like, I mean, I guess if you had maybe a couple of words to say to people out there who are kind of like, like life is so hard, and like business wise,
Well,
like
I'd say, whose reality are you buying into? Like, and literally ask, whose point of view is this? So, one of the things that I did too, I mean, you're talking about business, but it's the same thing. It's in you use the same tool, is with money. I realized I had all these points of view, and I created myself to be a financial mess at one stage, hence why I wrote the book Getting Out of Debt Joyfully, right? And but I would walk around and go, oh, this is a mess, or this is too expensive, or this is really cheap and dodgy, or this is, I can't afford it. And I would have all these points of view. And I realized, are these actually my points of view, or am I buying them from my parents, my neighbors, Australia as a culture, which is a whole other story, because Australians are so like, she'll be right, mate, beautiful one day, perfect the next. And they're not really striving or seeking something different. They're like maintaining what they have, right? So with that, you have to have a whole lot of points of view and judgment. So one of the things I did was, everything that came into my head or out of my mouth, like what I thought and what I spoke about, I would ask myself a question: is this actually my point of view? And same thing, I would like destroy and uncreate everything that I was creating as my point of view. And I would ask the question: if I was choosing my financial reality, what would I choose? And I started to notice this shift in how I would look at things. And you can do the same thing with business. Like if you go, business is hard, is that your point of view, or have you brought that point of view from your parents, from your grandparents, from your school teacher, anyone? So you start to buy it and you go, because the thing is, if something is really light, which is usually like what will bring you more joy and more ease and more money and everything, we dismiss it because it's so light. And it's the stuff that goes clunk in our world, and we go, see, this is what it is. Like it's easier to walk with lead shoes than fly, basically,
Wow.
because everybody else is walking around with lead shoes. So you'll go, business is hard, well, what if it's not? And I mean, if you look at, gosh, over the past, few years, especially since 2020, so much was created by a lot of the governments, especially in places like Canada and Australia, to destroy that smaller business, not to empower them. So then people started buying that, rather than, there was some amazing, innovative things that came from all of that as well. Like, uh, gosh, even a great restaurant here, because they had to shut down. The first thing that they did was they would make these dishes, and they would make the choice of one or two dishes. That's it. Friday and Saturday nights, you could drive by and pick it up. So everybody, and it was their sauces. It's a restaurant called Some Young Guys, but their sauces is what everybody became very familiar with. So every, butchers, every, fishmonger or anything like that ended up selling the jars of their sauces, and they got really well known during this period of time. Whereas they could have just gone, oh no, we have to shut down because we're a restaurant and we can't serve food. And they went, no. So you have to be like, again, it's back to like, what is it would you like to choose? Do you want to be the same as everybody else and complaining and bitching about what's not happening, or change it? Choose something different. What could you innovate? What could you choose that's innovative for you? And I'm going to say the planet, because for me, the planet is way more important to me than people.
Mhm.
People can be annoying. It's like, whereas the planet, I'm like, I'm in. What next?
Yeah,
What do we have to choose to gift to this amazing, beautiful earth and planet? It's raining here at the moment, and it's so beautiful.
that's cool. Yeah, to include the earth. I've been kind of doing that as well, because like with my business, I'm like, yeah, there's people and I can create clients, and like I go out into nature. I'm like, let's connect with the earth too and listen.
Well, let me give you a little hint though with the people thing, because most of us, when we say that, we go, oh, people either judge that you go, I'm like, people can be annoying, right? I want you to bypass the people and ask for the beings to show up to play with. Because it's different, because people will give you this people energy and this like, oh, this is my defined box, this is what I look like, this is how I answer you, and you're like, that's so boring. Ask for the beings who are looking for something different and seeking something different to show up, to contribute to you.
Yay, that is so cool.
Yay.
That is so cool. Wow, I am so grateful we finally made it to the
Me
podcast.
too.
It's
Me
this,
too. Thank you for having me, Shauna.
yeah, thank you for being here. I'm super grateful. It's been a while since I've made an episode, so this is awesome.
Good, 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 good. And you're making me desire to come to Canada.
That would be
So,
great. That it'd be nice, yeah. Like, I mean, I'd say anytime. And winter time starts at winter time, so probably in October to January, February. Winter time
yeah,
starts.
it'd have to be next year, but I'm even just like, I wonder what for. Is it like a business done different class? Is it a body class, or is it a choice for possibilities? Something. We'll find out.
I
We'll
always
see.
love CFPs. And if it's cold, you can like layer up. You can bundle up, wear a little parka, stay
I
warm.
actually have some really cool winter clothes, and I'm prepared because I do spend a lot of time in Europe. So yeah, it's when I'm in Australia and it's cold that I'm like, what's going on?
Oh
Because we're
yeah.
not used to it here.
Okay. Well, again, thank you, and yeah,
Cool.
we'll hopefully see you soon.
Cool. Thank you so much, Shauna. Mwah.